culture, for the culture, for the culture, 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 for the culture.
Yo, what is up? I'm your boy Tamel Cuts, proud owner of Uppercuts Barber Shop.
Hey, what up, y'all? I'm Lonnie Horn, proud owner of World Class Faders and World Class Stylers Barbershop and Salon.
You're watching another episode of For the Culture Podcast, going down every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And like that guy Rick would say, the clubhouse is officially open. Jack.
T Melly Melly.
What's up, my guy? Hey.
I was just watching Arsenio Hall, man. That took me back, man. Happy Tuesday to my brother. How you feeling, man?
Tuesday. Oh, blessed and highly favored. I cannot complain, man. It's been a good couple of days.
Yeah, man. And happy Tuesday out to the TDB versus family. Well, so somebody else told me there's like I'll be in there, I'll be watching. I just don't jump in y'all's comments. Oh man, I said I was gonna shout them out too. Oh Lord, it's gonna come to me later. But shout out to everybody who doesn't jump in the comments, but you jump on our podcast every Tuesday. You can be anywhere in the world with your valuable time, and you have given your valuable time to us. So we hope that the time we give back to you feels just as valuable, man.
Amen.
All right, man. I'm ready to go ahead and talk about it, man. We're gonna talk about what you got on your flesh over there, man.
Let's do that, man.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Let's get it, man. What you wearing today?
Well, man, one thing I like to do is pay all my respect to all my barber militants out there. You know, the ones that's really putting in that work. I want to say salute to y'all all the way with the Salute the Barber brand t-shirt. Shout out to my guys out in Tennessee. Their movement is really growing. A lot of people supporting it. We're number one fans, so really appreciate them getting us this new merch. And I just had to rock the Barber Love. Been a lot of Barber Love this past weekend, and I can still feel it. So I just want to keep passing that. That's what I'm rocking.
That's a good point you got right there, man. My apparel on the crown is none other than the crown. I wanted some freedom today. So I'm rocking the bald head, man. Shout out to my guy, Bird Minna. He said, man, you got the perfect bald head. He said, you look like you was born to have a bald head. Like when you was born, they said, we can't wait till this fall off because the hair is going to be right. That boy had me dying. I never heard that before.
Yes.
On the shirt, on the chest, man. Funny, we kind of look like we were in the same thing, but we not, man. I'm talking about them guys out in Stockton, man. Stockton, California. Shout out to Barber City, man, blessing us with these amazing shirts. And definitely salute to our barber brothers out of Tennessee, man. Yes, so if you want to send anything to us, we're size largest for now. We've been working out, though, so I don't know how long these larges are going to last, but it's no longer XLs. We are in larges, and you can send it to the address that is scrolling below. The reason we do this is because people bless us with their apparel, their merch, and we know that it takes a lot. That's their investment, man. So our way of saying thank you is making sure we display them on our platform. So shout out to everybody who sends apparel to us. We are happy to wear it for you, man. And that is our apparel of the week, y'all. You know what I always like to do? I always like my party to show you who we rocking and rolling with, man.
Got you, bro.
The best barbers and shop owners know that aside from customer service, presentation is everything. I mean, look around. If you want to grow long term, you have to show up professional and legit. That's exactly why I started Focal Fuse, to help brands look like industry leaders without the extra BS. Focal Fuse has helped some of the biggest names in the barbery and beauty industry bring their brands and expos to life to feel 100% like them. And availability is limited, but if you know we have to work together, just send a message, we'll have a quick conversation, and I'll take care of the rest. Peace.
Barbers Illustrated Magazine, the #1 magazine built for the craft. Featuring the freshest cuts, top barbers, tool reviews, and real industry stories. Get the magazine your shop should have had yesterday. Print subscriptions just $9.99. Digital subscriptions only $3.99. Single print issues $12.99, and digital single issues $4.99. Tap in today and level up your barbershop game. Barbers Illustrated Magazine, join the movement. Welcome to the world of barbering.
Bam, we back.
Yes. And shout out to all our sponsors and partners. We're super blessed, man. We're super blessed. We do not take it for granted. We have been blessed with the most amazing partners. They support us. We support them. And speaking of partners, and I know you got something you're going to share too. If anybody was not in the comments earlier, happy Tuesday to y'all. We appreciate you giving us your valuable time. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, y'all. Share this. Help us grow this, because it's not just for us. It's for all of us. We like to talk about what we did last week. And this last weekend, I'm going to really set it up and alley-oop it for my partner to talk about it first, because all I got to say is it was a global experience. And I like to simplify these type of experiences with this simple just statement. All of this from picking up some clippers, man. I just trip off of that all the time, man. So I'll say my piece, man. But you want to show them? You want to tell them how you want to do it, man? Because I love what we did last week.
I'm a visual person. I'm a visual.
Well, be visual, yeah, man. Be visual.
Let's be visual. All right, hold on.
We out here, man. Chicago, boy. Wall. United Barbers Club. Booksy. I mean, what else is it to do?
Contestants for tomorrow. Meet these guys.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Is really close to your heart, and that's Booksy.
Oh.
Hey!
Superstar himself, Mr. Kyle Nielsen.
Man, we in the shop, boy. We home.
Who we with, man?
We with the Booksy fam.
We with our peoples.
Oh, he want his money. He want his money. He said he want that.
Y'all gotta go. Hey, once we post that on YouTube, y'all gotta watch the full video, because you'll understand why I'm tapped in.
Let me tell y'all what we did, man. First of all, shout out to everybody on Instagram. Shout out to everybody in YouTube. Man, thank you to our partners, Booksy. They flew us out to Chicago for what's called the Wall Global Stage. Something never been done, not just by Wall, but haven't been done. These guys had barbers compete all over the world in 10 different nations. And then the winner of each competition, they flew out to Chicago to compete for the prize, to be ranked in this particular competition. We've been in events all over this country. I've never been in an event. We've never been in, I can speak for both of us. We've never been in an event where we were speaking to barbers from Malaysia, the UK, France, Vietnam, Ecuador,
Great Britain,
Australia.
Germany.
Oh Lord, man. Y'all don't even know, like, that's something that is needed, because this barbering game has taken so many of us through so many different ups and downs, where sometimes you don't know, like, what am I doing this for? What else is in this? There's so much in this, and there's no limit to it. And when you see what we get to see, it's a testimony to that, man. It's a testament to it. There is a lot in this game that you could never imagine. Just imagine it from your shop, from your chair. So it was dope, man. It was dope. Give us a takeaway, man. What's the takeaway you had from this weekend?
Meeting some dope people. I'm looking at one of them right now on Instagram. Harry Money. Met him out there. Met a lot of dope people, not only from around the world, but even in USA that we wasn't tapped into. That now they're on the live, they're watching it. So that, that's important for us. Our currency is relationships, and we build on it every time we get an opportunity to be in a room with people that we don't know. So that was my biggest highlight.
There was too many for me to name for this little segment. There was too many, y'all. I'm serious. I was on fire. I was lit. My energy, I can't turn it down at times like that. So I'm just moving through the crowd. Bow, bow. Yeah. And again, shout out to Booksy. They had a camera man following us the whole time. So it gave us the freedom to just not worry about capturing content, but to just go get it. And man, we were just moving around. So we actually got to meet the Wall brothers themselves. I mean, you're talking about Wall clippers. We go pick these things up from, Walmart, Kmart, if you've been around that long, flea markets, all this, just to pick them up. But that name, there's a story behind it. There's history behind it. And we had an episode a while back where one of our guests was saying, barbers need to learn the history. And I said, hey, you're right. But how? Like, how do they learn it? Where do we start? I know they give you a little bit in school, but to the level that he was pushing, where do you get it? And we didn't have that answer, but it was a good point, but it was a good follow-up question to learn how to feed. And when we sat there at the opening of this event, I seen the answer to that question. Well, one of the answers. Yeah. To see the Wall brother come out there. They put the whole family picture up and show what's the guy that started Leo Wall. Yeah. Leo Wall is the one that started it. They showed all the presidents of the last century, and they were all babies and kids. We talk about generational wealth. They showed it right there, man. Yeah. So, oh man.
What an idea.
Say that again?
Started with an idea.
Yeah. And he
wasn't rich.
Right. They wasn't rich. He said they used to the grandfather, great grandfather, whatever he is to him. He used to have family meetings at 2 a.m. Because it was the family. He's like, get in here. We're about to do this. Man, that was one of my biggest, but there was a whole plethora. That's Tamil's word. There was a whole plethora of others. If y'all are in Instagram, man, type in the comments, like, what was one of your big takeaways from the Wall event if you were there? But shout out to everybody who invested in themselves and came out, the young barbers, the students, barbers we've seen out there. Keep investing in yourself, man. There's a lot in this industry for you. All right, man. So that's what we did last weekend. What's next? What's next, T?
One of the biggest hair events, not barber events, hair events, beauty events we will ever have attended, and that is Premiere Orlando with the Booksy family.
Is that May 31st?
Yes, May 31st and the 1st of June. And we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be on a whole nother level. Another level. Jeezy. Hey, again, cheers to our partners, Booksy. They're going to be flying us out there. Again, all this from picking up clippers, man. We're just two regular guys to be picking up some clippers and having these type of opportunities, building relationships all over the world. I could give you words, but I can't explain the true excitement I get from it. So I'm excited, man. So looking forward to seeing Barber Doll out there. I think Tiffany, what's our girl, Tina, Carlos, Glenn Kings, and a lot more, man. Yeah. So that's it, man. And now I'm excited about our guest. I'm excited about our guest. I've been nosy about this one. I want to be nosy in person. I want to know what she is doing. It's amazing. All right, man. You ready to hook me up with it? All right, y'all. Real talk. Y'all know we get really blessed. We get to interview some of the coolest people on here, celebrity barbers, up-and-coming barbers, brand owners. Tonight's guest is someone bringing a completely different level of value to the barbering industry, known as, and hopefully she don't get me for this one, I think I got it, Kiné Corder. She's a global barber and financial hypnotherapist. I want to know about that. Who is helping barbers understand something we all experience, but rarely talk about: the mental and emotional impact of that chair.
Y'all done heard it in a lot of interviews. She's gonna dive in it. She teaches barbers how to run conversations, how to turn conversations, energy, and real life connection into something that only serves their clients, but also that not only serves their clients, but also builds income, awareness, and purpose. This is a conversation about mindset, money, and the real power behind what we do every day. Bring it to the screen, the one and only Kiné Corder. Let's go.
Awesome. Let's go. That was dope. I need to bring that every time.
I'm ready.
I love that.
I'm for hire. Bring me out. I like that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, sis.
Thank you for having me. You guys. I mean, it was a short time coming. It wasn't even a long time when I DM'd you, which is not my normal way. But I was like, and I gotta talk to these brothers.
Oh, that's cool. That's beautiful to know, to hear from that perspective. Tell me that I got close with the name.
Yeah, you did. Oh. It's Kiné, but I mean, Black people say Kiné. They're like, you Kiné. I'm like, no, I'm Kiné. It's still African, you know. The K-I, the I is pronounced E in French, and then in E, there's an accent over the E, which is A. So
I saw that.
French, it's Senegalese.
I was singing it, Kiné. I was singing it. I was like, Kiné.
Hey, that sounds good.
I was working. I said, "No, we're gonna get this." So,
like, wait. I gotta ask you, what high school did you go to?
Are you in Sacramento?
No.
She's from Chicago, though.
Oh no! So this is okay. So this is crazy. I almost hate that question. You know why? Because I had my high school lined up. My mother moved to Sacramento, and hopefully she ain't on here yet. The summer before going to high school. Do you know how devastating that was? I'm gonna tell you the high school. Yes. I'm gonna tell you the high school. You might say good you didn't go.
Oh no, CVS.
No, my uncle went to CVS. That's funny. Okay. Julian.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, cheers to mama. Cheers to mama.
She was on time. She was right on time.
Yeah, I went to Curtis Elementary as a K through 8 in Roseland, 115th and kind of by state right there. Yeah, man.
She from the South Side.
I had no clue. Okay, where you from?
Yeah, Chatham.
Where'd you look at her?
I'm not from the 100. I'm from the 90.
Where'd you go to high school?
I hate that question too. I went to Luther South.
Where?
I went to private school. I went to Luther South.
See that? That's funny. Look, I'm like, well, the high school I was going to, it was the first one I ever heard where they switched to metal detectors. It did her. She like, I'm from Chicago. I can't say what. No, you know what? I like that, and you know what I like about this. Before we jump in, is I defend Chicago a lot because we know there's a high level of violence out there, and the reputation is that just leads it for a lot of people. And I fight for how beautiful it really is. It's a lot of beauty out there. The architecture is beautiful. Our downtown is one of the finest ones. I mean, fine like a lady fine. Like we got a fine downtown. So, you know,
and even from industry wise, and you talked about history earlier, the very first barber school was in Chicago.
Moeller, right?
No, yes, Moeller. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't.
But
I just
there was a Moeller barber school, which is where I went to barber school, and then but that wasn't the first Moeller barber school. There was one in 1893, I think it was, the very first Moeller, and then there was another Moeller on the west side. Second.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm loving this bar. I'm loving the barber history. I'll tell give it to me because. Yep. I just picked the clippers up. I didn't go read the book or nothing first, you know. So I'm learning it backwards, but it makes it it just puts so much behind it, you know. So that should go right there.
Tuesday is my favorite day of the week.
Hey,
you know I used to be off on Monday, so I was like ready to come back to work on Tuesday. It's still my favorite day of the week.
Oh, I love it. I like that Monday energy. That says a lot about people. Some people dread Monday. I'm like every day I wake up, I'm just like, thank you, let's go. Let's talk about it. Why barbering? Kiné.
Now I feel like we went to high school together. Oh, why barber? So okay, here's my story. And my sister was a cosmetologist, and I was an assistant all through high school. But I knew I didn't want to be a cosmetologist. I was like, I'm a tomboy, just so you know. I'm all cute right now, but I'm really a tomboy. And so I was like, I can't do that. Curling out your thing, not doing it. And so, but I really wanted to. But I ended up going to college because I'm also a student. You know, private school, you got to go to college. So I went to college. I got out of college, and I went to my friend's job, which she was a barber, and I was gonna buy her lunch. She opened that cash register at noon to give me some money. And I was like, no, you ain't got to give me no money, but you need to tell me why you got that much money in this cash register in this noon.
I need that.
I'm the one with the degree, and I am not rolling like this right here. So some of it was a little bit like, I want to make some money. I came out of the hair industry. All my friends are in the hair industry. They all making money. I'm making, at the time, $30,000, but I'm the one with the degree, and all of them make more than me. So I was like, this is crazy. This makes no sense. What's the name of that barber school you went to? She said, Moeller. I went over to the West Side the next week, and I've never been on the West Side. I've been South Side all my life, but I didn't care. I was like, rolling. Get me on Madison and Austin. I went over there. I talked to them. They were like, this is what it is. I said, okay, I'll be here next week. Signed up. No financial aid, nothing. I just paid.
Okay.
It was $2,500 back then.
That was my next question. That was my next question. We always talk about how much it cost when we went to school because it's like $25,000 now. Exactly.
Yeah, no. But my sister paid $10,000 for cosmetology school. She went to Pivot Point. Okay. So for me, barbering was like everybody who was anything to me, like all the people I looked up to were business owners, entrepreneurs, and that was hairstylists, barbers. But I knew I didn't. So here's the part of the story I forgot to tell you. The lady that I said I went into her barbershop and she had that, I met her a couple months before that and we became friends. And I said to her, I always thought about being a barber, but she's like, well, why not? And I was like, because I went to college. And she was like, so? And I was like, all right. So that was like stuck in my head. And then a couple of months later, I went to her barbershop, dropped off that food. And I was like, yeah, I like that. So let me go to barber school.
And never cut no hair before that?
Never. That's what I was going to tell you. When you talked about the book, oh my God, I was all in that book because I had never even, the only clippers I had ever touched was, those ones that you do like this. Like
you was doing the manuals?
And my grandfather had some, and I cut my brother's hair a little bit one time.
A little bit. A little bit.
And then he was like, ah.
Yeah, them things, they don't look safe.
So I put those down. I never touched another clipper ever again. And then I went, like I said, I was a shampoo assistant, very good at what I did. We'll talk about that later. But, and I loved being an assistant, help people grow their business. And it was everything. I cut my teeth in this industry as an assistant and learned so much. And then when I went to barber school, one of the barber teachers, he was an ex addict who left the barber industry, but loved it so much. When he went through rehab, he went back to school, become a teacher, and he just took an interest in me because I was so interested. And I mean, every client stood next to me, cutting every single client. He taught me how to use the 76s, every single one of those blades. I never even had to use the masters or the fast feeds because he taught me so well how to use my detachables that my cut was, he called it a true cut. My cut was so true. And then finally, when I left barber school, I went to that barbershop where my friend worked, and she was like, all right, you just cut one head and let Benny see you. That's who owned the barbershop. When I cut and Benny saw me, he's like, it's no way this girl went never cut no hair before. And she cut like this right out of school. But that I owe it all to my teacher.
Shout out to is Benny, right?
Yeah. Benny's the shop owner, right?
Benny was the shop owner. Yeah.
But shout out to them, man, just for mentoring you like that. I know that had to to hear that praise about that cut, and you hadn't done no real cut before that, that had to just really boost your spirit a lot.
It is. It did. It is like, it is one of my favorite stories, mainly because Benny's one of those barbers. You know, the barbers who like to say, I'm the first one who did blah, 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 right? Yeah, Benny is like that. So I was one of his first.
Wow.
I'm the first one to get her job. You know that.
And how long ago was this?
Almost 30 years. That was 1999.
And you stayed at that shop for how long?
I stayed at that shop like 5 years, and then I went downtown.
Oh, you did downtown.
Mm-hmm. This one on 103rd and Halsted. That's where I started.
Wait a minute.
Then I worked at Sean and Mari. You know Sean and Mari?
No, I don't. But I heard I've heard their name. But my family.
Yeah, I worked at Sean and Mari shop for like a minute. Like when I say a minute, I mean a minute. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I went in that shop, and one thing about me, I have insight. I see things that nobody else sees. But there was folks and brothers in the same shop, and I was like, oh, if my chair's by the window,
I put that together.
I'm the news story. I'm the news story. None of y'all gonna get it. I'm gonna be the one, the news story. They're gonna be like, oh, female barber, went to private school, ended up in the barber shop. She got hit.
Yeah,
of course, right? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, no, I gotta go, and they understood.
Can we elaborate on that a little bit? Because we're on the West Coast, and so I know what you're talking about.
There's one gang,
yes.
Brothers, another gang.
Yes.
And they go to barbers that are from different gangs, but they all work in this same shop. And maybe it's a truce right now, but it's just a matter of time. But that before that ends, you know, in Chicago, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. You never know which one it's going to be. But what you do know is that at some point, bullets are going to fly. Like you said before, there are these stories, these violent stories. And I went to high school with two, not one, but two young men who ended up being the news story. Track star, one of them, football star, the other one. So I knew already, I am the news story. Nobody in here, you saw Menace to Society?
Mm-hmm.
O-Dog was not the one to get hit. Kane got hit. I was Kane.
Okay.
I love that you shared that. I love that you shared that because it just, again, you know, I say this all the time. Somebody may be inspired by you tonight. Somebody may watch this a year from now. And the thinking you had to do, you know, to put yourself in a place that complemented you, your style, your safety, your business, your client safety. That's a big thing. And that's not about just Chicago. That's just in general, you know, searching for a place. So I appreciate you elaborating on that. I knew exactly what you was talking about, but
thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, we got people from everywhere, man.
So now you get into this industry, seeing your friend making all this money, and you get into it, and now you start being that type of partner that's making this money, and then you leave this industry.
Yeah, I did, but it was a while. I was in the industry until 2011, but I did some things like most barbers. You know, I did some things on the side. Right around, so 5 years later, I went downtown, and then I worked downtown, and I started doing locks as well. So I was cutting and doing locks, and was pretty famous in Chicago. Everybody knew if you wanted locks, you go to Kiné, but you're gonna be on her waiting list, kind of thing. And so I did that. I loved it, and then I got bored, and I got burnout, and the two together said leave to me. That burnout was real, and there's a story I tell sometimes about, like, I just was taking on so many people's problems. Plus, I'm the kind of the person people go to in the family. So I have family problems, everybody's problems, plus all my clients' problems. And one day I just shut it down. I was like, let me call my client, because I took appointments even back then. I was like, you need to wait an hour before you come. I need a moment. I didn't know it was called a mental health moment, but that's what I needed. I walked out. I went to do some retail therapy, and I go to the shoe store.
I caught that.
That's stopping for anybody who didn't know.
I go
I'm gonna translate for y'all everything that connects. She talking gang stuff and shopping.
I'm real rounded. So that's the private school girl. So I go to the shoe store, and a client that I only had once, he was really somebody else's client. I cut his hair once, and this man was so stressed out one time. He sat in my chair, and I don't know what I said to him, but whatever it was, it made his day. And when I saw him in that shoe store, he was a millionaire. He had like 5 pairs of shoes piled up, and I just had my little 1 pair of shoe. And he's like, "Oh, hey," gave me a hug and all this. And yeah, you cut my hair before. I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember." And then he says, "You that's what you're getting?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Give me them." Put it on top of his high pile of shoes. He's like, "Give me that." Ring it all up. Give me my shoes in the bag, and I was like, I'm so glad I left. Like, I needed that moment. If I would have stayed and cut, by the end of the day, if I didn't listen to myself, or I didn't follow my instinct, I would have been so stressed out by the end of the day. But this moment, I go in the store. Not only does this man buy my shoes, but tells me a story about how I once cut his hair, and I said something to change his day. And I'm like, I didn't even know I had that power like that. I didn't know at the time. This was years ago. So in that moment, I go back to work, and I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. I needed that moment. Yeah. And the universe, God, Allah, like whatever you believe in, set it up for me to get the spark I needed to go back and finish my day.
So you were getting dumped on before that. You're taking in everybody's problem.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
and sometimes we have people that watch this that are not barbers, and we appreciate that. And this is a perspective that a lot of people will never consider had they not heard it from a professional, experienced person. So what she's saying is you got anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8, and sometimes barbers 10, 15 people a day, and you're keeping up with all these stories, and you're actively listening, which means you're actively digesting, and you're going into the stories with them. And wow, overload happened.
Exactly. And that's that burnout. Like that was the one day that I did walk away, but most days I didn't do that. And so I just got burnt out. And then I also got bored. And then I started doing some research to figure out, like, how am I going to retire from this? I can't stand up behind this chair all the time. And eventually I fell in love with finance. And I sold everything that had a dollar sign associated with it. When I first left, I went into insurance and then real estate. And I was a real estate and mortgage broker. Then I eventually sold stocks and bonds, worked at Morgan Stanley. Like I was just climbing. Dang. It was everything to me. And I got so high at Morgan Stanley because I knew how to do financial planning, which Morgan Stanley, most people are just stockbrokers. They just buy and sell stocks. They don't actually know how to plan, but I'm a strategist. And so I learned how to do financial planning. I brought that to Morgan Stanley. So they had me teaching other financial advisors, and then, all the way to New York, teaching there. And I loved it. Except my manager was like, that thing you do on the side where you always listen to people's problems and telling them what to do and all that. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you need to look more into that. I give you 30 days and figure out what you want to do. And so I looked and I searched my soul, and it just so happened that Morgan Stanley had a conference, and within that 30 days, and I met a lady, and she was a financial therapist. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I need to figure what that is. It was nothing. There was no course. There was no nothing. It was just somebody called themselves a financial therapist. Now it is, years later. But
it clicked. It clicked for you. Those 2 words, it clicked.
Exactly. But now there's courses and you can, get certified and all of that. But before, when she first told me that, it wasn't. But I figured, I had enough information. So I went back to school, got my master's in clinical mental health counseling, merged the 2 together. And then the last class I took was trauma. And I made it the last class I took in my master's program because I thought I was going to hate it. Just so happened I loved it. And at the end of that class, my teacher told me to take hypnotherapy. So I took hypnotherapy right after I graduated, and I never even did therapy without hypnotherapy. Most therapists do talk therapy, and that's it. And you just stay in therapy for like 2 years, 3 years, talking about your problems. Well, in hypnotherapy, it's a little bit different. It's like you don't really have to do a lot of talking, which is why I work with men a lot. And so
wait, what you said about men?
I went with men because you don't have to.
I'll be catching everything.
We easy. We easy.
She's trying to run over it real quick. I mean, that's why I talk to people. Anyway, so yeah.
We don't got no will. Our will is weak.
They simple.
So, like, men are like, get to what do I need to do? Tell me what to do.
Got you.
Let's get this done. Women are like, I want to sit in my feelings. I want to feel my feelings. I'm like, girl, let's go for that.
I got you. You right? Okay, you right about that. Okay, she rocking for the men. I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you then. How does this start out? Somebody comes to you, and where do we start? Do we start with our finances? Do we start with our mental health? Do we start just digging into?
I never, ever rehearse for these kinds of things. I love podcasts. This is my favorite thing to do in life, but I never rehearse for them. But the universe told me that you was going to skip over a whole bunch of stuff. So I need to be ready. And this is where I have to take you back.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
And I got to put on my glasses.
Let's do it.
So if you fast forward, then you skip over a couple of things. And one of the things that I like to say is when I'm talking to someone, the first thing that I'm doing is being a master question asker. Like I am leading the conversation because I didn't do that when I was a barber before. And what would happen is you say to somebody, hey, how you doing? And they go, girl, or guy or whatever. Oh, let me tell you, man, my wife, my son, my kid, my work, you like, yeah. And I'm like, you asked that.
You in it now. You stepped into something.
Exactly.
Got you.
So I learned to stop asking that question. And I learned, and I'm gonna give y'all this. This is a signature Kiné question.
I was getting my too.
Going well.
Love that. Love that.
That even just that felt different. That felt different for me being on the receiving end. You prompted my brain to think about something different.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yep. So when you
get
say
those Debbie Downers that be like nothing's going well.
I know that's what I was just about to tell you. When you say what's going well, you got to follow that up because they're gonna say nothing. Everything is terrible. Or they're gonna start telling you something and they're gonna be like, well, my daughter did graduate, but then my husband didn't come and my wife did this. It's like, So when they start, you're gonna get that gives you all rights to stop them. Wait, John. I asked you what was going well.
Well,
yeah. Wait. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to your wife. I asked you what was going well. See, that's how you can bring it back. Or if they say nothing, I can't think of nothing, then you say, now it's gonna blow your mind. Well, let's just be quiet until you think of something. I'm just gonna cut. You tell me when you think of something. I'm here.
Oh, you're a beast with this. That's hey, that look. Harry Money over on Instagram, he said, I say what's the highlight of the month, but he said what's going well is amazing. That's superb. That's a game changer. It put you in control.
You didn't want me to bring out to control. I was like, Big Ben Jackson. I almost danced, but I was like, some clippers down and started.
I like this.
Yeah. So first of all, you have to be a master question asker, but then you're going to shift that to being an active listener.
Yeah.
So when you're tired, sometimes you heard a lot of those not so well stories. You start going, and some people, like my daughter and my sister, you really don't have to say much. You just can say and they'll take the story. They'll tell you a good story, and you don't even have to listen. But what's happening is that you're losing value, and that person is not feeling heard. And eventually, they're going to figure that out. And that might mean that they go to another barber because somebody who will actually listen to them, or they just feel like something's missing because they didn't just come for a haircut.
Yep.
You know it, they know it, but nobody is saying it. This is just like that silent part of the process, the experience that we're going to talk about because you be doing it for free. So we're going to talk about that. But they came for that conversation, but you didn't give them any conversation because you burn out and you're tired and you're worn down and you don't have no words for them. So you're not actively listening. So we're going to bring it back. You ask them what's going well, but let's say you talked about that for a while and it did move into something that is a little heavy. And then you can actively listen by asking them more questions, but change the question so it's not necessarily a question. Now, what do I mean by that? So there are ways to ask a question that don't sound like a question because you don't want to interrogate the person. So I'm curious. And then you finish that sentence, right? I'm curious. Did she apologize? You know, you can start it with I'm curious. And sometimes you can not even ask any question. I've heard that it's really hard going through a divorce. You see, I've heard. Then they're gonna say, "Oh my God, you have no idea." Blah 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 blah. Right? It must have been. And then you can finish that sentence. It must have been scary, right? No, I wasn't scared at all. No, because I had my dog with me, blah, 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 whatever. Right. So those are ways you can say things like tell me more, but that sounds like therapy. Careful with that one. They've been to therapy. They're like, whoa, you trying to therapize me? So but one I really like a lot, and you do this, you just don't know you do this. No way. Just like that's active listening. Okay. What? But there's emotion in that. It's not
anything other than the and okay.
No way. What?
Now hold on, I had somebody.
I was about to give one too. I
had somebody. I had a barber that was talking to the client, and the client was like, "I had coffee this morning." She's like, "No way!" I was like, "That is not the proper response. She was not listening to your client.
It was a
no way."
Like, okay, bring it down a notch. What happened with the coffee? Was it served by a really sexy person?
I just got into deep conversations with my clients is talking, and I'm like, and I'm focused on the haircut, but I'm listening, and I'll be like, you know what I mean? So I do have the sound and not the word, but it's the emotion behind it.
But that's still active listening.
Okay, yeah. I just want, again, people that are, some people they can read between the lines, like Tamil could tell when you said brothers and the folks, and then you got some people that we just want to elaborate a little bit more on, because I want to make sure they get the full context. So it's not just the exact word and just that sound, it's the emotion behind whatever that active listening is.
Exactly. Yep. Because what you're doing is being part of the conversation, but also controlling the conversation. And then you want to lead the conversation where you want it to go. So if at the end, because where we're going with this, especially when I work with barbers, there are things you're listening for, and also things that if you don't hear them, then that might ring an alarm. Like you said, we've heard these stories over and over. And the story that I tell a lot too is that I had a client who had clients that would come back every single week with the same problem. And this is how I started doing this work. I was like, you know what? No, you're not doing it to me no more. We're going to figure this out, and we're going to figure this out today. And don't you come back here. You don't have a job. Did you send out any resumes? Did you call anybody? Did you go anywhere? No, you didn't do any of that. Okay. Well, get your little piece of paper out nowadays. Get your phone out. Take some notes. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. This ain't therapy. This is coaching. So it's like, this is what you're going to do. And then you're going to do this. Text me on Tuesday and let me know what 3 things you like. That's what I started doing.
That's powerful right there. And it's accountability too. It's like, look, if you're going to use my energy for this journey, this struggle you're going through, show me that you're not using it in vain. Show me that like when you use it, because like we say, you can't get that time back. It's spent. So now you done spend my time. Show me that it was worth something. I like that.
Yep.
And funny thing about it, real quick.
Go ahead.
Funny thing about it is it's amazing to see that there's people that get into the service business and don't want to serve. They don't even like people. They like the money behind it.
Yeah.
They're looking for that.
I mean, it's teachers that don't like kids.
Well, I've met them. I've met them. And they hate their job.
And it's true. And as a therapist, and this is just my nature anyway, I don't judge. So you should be in it for the money if you can be. If that's your goal, then that's what you do. That's fine. Leave the other clients to us. We'll cut the ones that want somebody to actively listen to them. But just know that when you do that, you're going to cap off. Your money is going to cap off. You had a gentleman on here before talking about how he goes over and beyond for his clients. And, and in that case, he got a house, out of it. I forget his name, but he gets a house out of it. It's like, that don't just happen to the barber that's cutting for money. That happens to the barber that cuts for love.
Right.
So you can cut for money if you want to, but you're going to cap off. It's only going to be so much money you're going to make. Yeah. You get so many gifts, so many blessings when you cut for the love. Now, I'm not saying don't charge. I'm all about charging.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm saying charge the most. Be the most expensive. You either need to be the most expensive or the cheapest. Those are your only two choices. Which one you choose? Because if you're the cheapest, you'll make the most money because a lot of people are going to come to you, but you're going to be tired. If you're the most expensive, a lot of people are going to come to you because they're going to think your cut is the best. But you better bring it.
So ultimately, we see that with this active listening, we see how it can help the client. How can it help? What does it do for the barber?
Yeah, what's the end goal for the barber?
So part of it is to control the conversation. So when you control the conversations, number one, you need to be controlling the controllables in all areas of your life. And we're going to get into that. We still got some time. So you control the controllables in all areas of your life. And in this, behind the chair, this is your chair. They are sitting in it. So in that moment, when they sit in your chair, they came into your world. You didn't go into their world. They came into your world. So you need to control this. Even if it's just a little square around your chair, you need to control it. And the active listening, the master question asker allows you to do that. But when you're a master question asker and you're actively listening, the next thing you can do is offer resources. And once you offer resources, it's like a choir. Say no more. I'm not listening anymore. On to the next conversation, on to the next subject. We can talk about anything else, but we're not talking about that because I gave you a resource and you're going to leave here and you're going to go do it. If you come back here and you did not, then we're still not going to talk about it until you have the next step. When you take the next step, we can talk about it all day long, the whole cut. But you're going to take the resource first. And once you give them the resource, if they don't take it, it's not on you to keep letting them pour their dirt and mud on you. No, now you control the conversation. I gave you a resource. Check it out. Let's see next week how it goes.
I'm literally going to send this episode to our barber sister, the original Barber Doll. We had a deep conversation about this, and you have such a specific strategy. I know this is going to be like gold to her right here. And so you mentioned resources. We talk about, me and Tamel, we talk about how important it is for you to find out who's in your chair. And we put their trade or their gift or their talent next to their names. So it's Kiné, the hypnotherapist, financial hypnotherapist. It's, John, the plumber, and so forth. And so I might not need that resource for a year or so, and I can't remember that person's name. So when I type in plumber or financial hypnotherapist, it's going to pull up who I need to be talking to.
Yes.
With the barbers, we talk about how important it is for them to build those resources. But the way you mention it, what are other ways they can get those resources? Because now you're giving them a strategy to like diffuse this dumping that's happening on them. but where do they send these people for these things?
Right.
And maybe picking the top 3 issues you see that we need to have resources for.
So I will say this too. One of the things that I do, one of the things I'm doing right now is building a barber network so that, because I do have a lot of these resources, especially when it comes to money and mental health. I'm going to build barbers up so that they have it and then they know where to send people. So that's one of the things that I'm teaching in my barber network. But aside from that, there are places you can go. So if you have a client, let's say they have something acute, like they're just normal, because what I want you to understand is what I teach barbers is mental wellness, not mental illness. So if somebody comes with, a chronic, they have schizophrenia, bipolar, something like that, no barber is going to deal with that. But if it's something that is acute, it just came on, all of a sudden, there's this client who comes every week to get their hair cut and they're always sharp. Now they're not so sharp. They look, this beard, this hair, I ain't seen them in weeks. Something's not right. Now I need to have resources because Jonathan don't look like this. So it's a couple questions you ask, but once you ask those questions, and I can teach you that, but once you ask those questions, some of the resources of course, 911, right? But I want to be clear on something, especially in the Black barbershop. 911, you are going to say, I need an ambulance. So if somebody is going, like having a psychotic break in your chair, I need an ambulance. You are not to call the police because they are not trained on how to handle it. And the paramedics barely are, but they would handle it better than, and at least they can do some CPR, some oxygen, something. They have some tools. All the police have is a gun. And that's usually not going to turn out right with psychotic break. So not that somebody would sit in your chair and have a psychotic break, but you just never know. So if you do have to call 911, you're going to say, I need an ambulance. Second thing, there's also like a suicide hotline. I think it's 988 on your cell phone, text or call. You can text or call. You could give your client that. You don't even have to. And I know, especially with my men, it's like, I'm not going to get in his business. That's his business. But by the time you're a barber and he didn't sit in your chair quite a few times and you know him, it ain't his business alone. He has a family. He has whatever employees. You're not going to leave him out there like that. And it's going to hurt you when you find out he sat in your chair just yesterday.
Yeah.
It's nothing more painful than hearing your client left this earth and you just saw them.
Can I give you a scenario and you use your expertise to tell me what we could have done a little different?
He asking for a free service. Go and give it to him.
All right.
It's serious.
Later.
It's serious.
It is.
It's a painful one. We had a young man, and I think he was about 28 years old, and he was a regular in the shop, and he would, one of those regulars where he could sit in multiple chairs, and that's somebody that know the shop.
Yes.
And he had a few things that caused him some insecurities. He had a real strong stutter, smaller stature, but he was a very talented guy. And in his field, I won't say what that field is, but in his field, he was very talented. And that, we loved him for it, and we were patient with his stutter and all of that. Nobody ever made jokes. And the barbershop would go hard. We could hit your weakest area if we love you that much. But we never did. We just, you could almost see him working through it. And so he was a hopeless romantic. And this guy always had a story about women. And he went from being a player to he really wanted to settle down. And we was like, yeah, right. Like, not the stuff you show us. Hell no, it ain't no way you want to settle down. And but he was like, I seriously do, Lonnie. And he pulled me over to the side. He said, I really think this is the one. And the way he dove in, he was just spending all his money. And it was just different. Something was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But long story short, the girl ended up playing him, and he caught her cheating with another girl, and he killed both of them and then killed himself. and we was just that. It was one of them things you feel like you're watching a movie. Like, I think about him to this day, and this was just a few years ago. I think about him to this day, and I always think back to, like, you can't fix everything, but I just think about those times where I could see that he had more struggles than it sounded like when he's telling those cool stories. And I'm like, what kind of resource is that? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah, I don't beat myself up, but I do wish I could have, influenced him in some way to still be here, and for those other two people to still be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things. One is what you just said. You feel like you did your best. So did I do my best? Yes. And then that's all you got is your best. Was it you knew something and you didn't do something about it? That's different. If you're like, it's kind of sort of something there, but I'm not really sure, and I don't know how to handle it, right? That's human. You were being human. You get to be human. And if he would have said something like premeditated, like, if I ever find it, I'm gonna do blah, blah, blah. And then you said, I was like, that's his business. If he kills, I can't undo. Right. That's different. But that didn't happen. So if, let's say, an incident in a barbershop where somebody is talking about harming someone else, you may want to, the person who knows them the best, ask them, are you serious? Do you have a plan? That's that question right there. Do you have a plan? I'll tell you everything.
That's deep. I would have never thought to ask, even in that kind of situation. I would have never thought that. I'm listening.
Yeah, and that's completely therapy. They teach you that in school. I wouldn't have known that either. So when you ask if they have a plan, he can tell you, oh yeah, I bought this. I already did this. I'm just waiting for like that. Okay. But you're not a mandatory reporter. A therapist is a mandatory reporter. But in that case, you may want to look deeper and say, okay, who can I call? You don't have any confidentiality as a barber. So if you know a person that is very close to him that may be able to get to his ear, then you can say, look, I was talking to Roger. He said something about Felicia that I was just like, okay, is this normal? Do they usually talk like this? I'm just asking so I know. And if it's normal, if you're like, oh yeah, they just play like that, then it's cool. But I need to know this so that I feel comfortable, because I care about him, I care about her, and those kids. Like, you're not breaching confidentiality, but you have to take that serious if they have a plan. If he said, I'm a killer like that, and you like, what? You got a plan? I'm just saying, like, if ever she did something like that, I'm sure I know I would. Right. Then it's like, okay, that don't sound like you have a plan.
So let me
happened in that case, what you were just talking about, that sounded like a psychotic break to me.
And it just kept hitting me. I kept putting myself in his mind, because I talked to him deep, and I was like trying to just pinpoint, like, what could have triggered it to that level with all that I've collected on him. It just didn't quite add up. But the way you just said it, like that psychotic trip, it seemed like something just clicked. Like he was like, that's it. Yep. That's it. Like, that's it. So thank you.
Let me bring it to this point. You're money mental therapist or something like that.
Yes. Financial
money mental, because you got to have your mental right to be able to do this. And the therapy part, how does all this tie? Where does the money part tie into all of this?
So it just kind of goes back to what you asked me in the beginning, like why did I leave the industry? Like, why barber? Then why did I leave the industry? And when I left the industry, it was because I was falling in love with these things. I fell in love with finance, and that's why I went into every area of it. And I mean, even including credit, which I don't love, but I will do. But all of it, I just love it so much. And it's, you can call me at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to rattle off an answer for you.
Thank you. Okay.
Y'all heard it. She said
Hey, thank you.
Eastern Standard Time.
Carry on.
Okay,
Carry on.
then I fell in love with therapy too. I really felt, even including trauma, because a lot of us think I'm over that, when we're really not, and we're holding on to it. We really haven't let it go. And so hypnotherapy was a whole nother level because it made it easier to let things go, because we're going into the subconscious brain, which that's a whole nother episode. And so I tie it all together because, one, we are all going through something. Like everybody has a thing that they're going through. And whether or not they're willing to talk about it, that's one thing. But if they decide they want to talk about it, then the second part of it is having a solution. And so money is the number one cause of stress, whether you have a little of it or a lot of it. Dang. Now, I prefer to work with people with a lot of it, but I will also work with those who don't have a little. But it doesn't matter. Even the wealthiest clients I work with, and I work with men who have millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they still stressing about the same dang on things. I'm talking about little things. Like one man wouldn't let his wife buy red peppers because he was taught when he was a kid, red peppers are too expensive. Now this man has millions of dollars and he still won't let his wife buy red peppers.
Oh,
that's the kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Stresses of the rich, Jesus.
But that's financial all the way around. Program. Yeah. I like the point that you touched on about we all have some financial. Well, we also have some stresses, but finances are the biggest stress. Whether you have a lot or you have a little. Yeah. There's reports that show. There's numbers that show that relationships is one of the biggest, reasons that relationships don't make it. Yeah. So just what's your goal with that? And I know you focus on the ballers, but is any of these strategies for for people who are struggling with less money in relationships?
It's all the same. So okay, I'm about to break this down as quickly as I can. I know we only probably got like 10 minutes. So everybody has an idea of prosperity. One of the questions that in the questions that I give barbers in my first session with them is, what is your idea of prosperity? So when you ask somebody what their idea of prosperity is, it usually has a dollar sign associated with it, right? Wealth, it has health, it has relationships. Sometimes it has fun, recreation in there. It could be their reputation, the legacy they want to leave, and even time and location. Those are two that get left out sometimes, but where they live can be very important. Or the time that they give to the certain things in their life. So when you ask them what their idea of prosperity is, that conversation can go on for a while because there's a lot involved in that. So when you look at your idea of prosperity, one of those areas you might be good at, right? You might have, okay, I live in the place that I love. I love my home. I love the city I live in. Like I love my community, whatever it is, right? You may have location down. And maybe you have the wealth. Maybe you're making a good amount of money and you're like, okay, I'm good. I can get more, but I'm paying all the bills and I feel good. I can vacation and do the things. But there's going to be some missing in there. But the ones that are missing are going to overshadow the ones that are going well. And so those are the ones that and I call them sometimes they're opposing goals, because like some people say, oh, I want to travel. I love to travel. Like I'm a global barber. I've been to some of those places that you said you met barbers. I went to Malaysia last year. I worked in Malaysia, I've been to France, and I can't live in one place. I cannot do it. So, but if I did, then I would have opposing goals. If I was saying, oh, I want to travel, but then I locked myself into owning a barbershop and I can only work in this one barbershop. So then that would be a problem for me. I would feel uneasy and I wouldn't understand why I did, because I'm not lined up in that area. So idea of prosperity and those 7 areas, that's first. We need to look at that and we need to find out which one of those areas, how many of those areas are off, and we need to get you on. And then the next thing we're looking at is your money emotions. So we said money is the number one cause of stress, but there are 4 different money emotions. Now this is going to go, I'm about to teach a class, so just let me roll for a little while.
Roll on.
Yes.
Fear-based emotions, lack-based emotions, lust-based emotions, and lonely-based emotions. Now, there are a couple inside each one of those categories, but they all break down at least to those 4 categories. And I'm listening when I'm hearing people talk, whether I'm talking to a multimillionaire or a thousandaire, I'm still listening. Is this a fear-based emotion? Is this a lack-based emotion? Is this a lust-based emotion? Is this a lonely-based emotion? And so fear-based emotions are like that fear of the unknown kind of thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Lack is that I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Lust is the opposite. More. I just need more. You got a lot of stuff going on here. Like you can stop that, And then the lonely is that isolation. They're afraid sometimes people even lie and say they don't have money because they think people won't like them if they have money. So those lonely emotions. So I'm just listening for the emotion, and then I'm going to address it based on what I hear. So that's the money emotions. Now, which money emotion you're dealing with is going to affect the way you navigate what I call the money cycle. And the money cycle is earn, grow, protect, gift, and enjoy your money. Now, the title of this is Barbers Hate Money. And interestingly enough, barbers usually think they know a lot about earning money, but they don't get into the growing it or protecting it very much. So in that end, they do hate money because they just get it and spend it, get it and spend it. You must not like it that much. You didn't hold on to it. You didn't protect your money. The moment you spent it, you fired your money. It is not working for you. So
watch her cook. Let her cook.
We needed that bomb drop right there. I was getting ready to hit that bomb right there. You must not like it because you don't keep spending. Keep rolling, please.
Okay. So when you learn how to navigate the money cycle, that earn, grow, protect, gift, and then enjoy your money, then you can enjoy your lifestyle better. You can really dig into those prosperity pillars. And that's going to be determined by your money personality, which I call your money mentality. Now, there are 7 different money personalities or money mentality types. And some of them you heard of, but some of them you haven't. So there's like the spender, right? We already know what they do. They just spend. The saver, they just save. You don't even have to make a lot of money, but they're going to find a way to save. And then there's the blamer. That's the one that never seems to have the money right, but always asking, can I borrow? Can I lend? But then it's the man, it's the mama. It's always somebody else's fault why they don't have no money. Right? That's the blamer. Then there's the enthusiast. And a lot of barbers are this. The enthusiast loves to buy the bar. Oh, let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get that. They will spend money on wants, though. Don't you call an enthusiast about your needs. They are not going to pay your mortgage. That's the hero. The hero will get the boot off your car. They will pay your mortgage. They'll do all the things. And a lot of barbers are also heroes because we are the person that everybody leans on. And because we have that flexibility, we get cash real fast. People think they can call us like, oh, can I borrow? Can I have? All these things, right? And then there's the artists, which they don't necessarily have to be artistic to be an artist. Artists have like this love-hate relationship with money. They want to charge you, but then they don't want to tell you. So like I worked with a nail tech before, and she used to, how nail techs usually, they tell you before they put the polish on you, get the money out your back, your pocket, your purse, whatever, put it on tech, right? But if they forget to do that, she would not tell them. Some people would leave out. Come back next week. She still would not tell them, you forgot to pay me last week.
Dang.
Because she has that artist mentality where she's scared to talk about money. She don't want to ask about her money. But the number one, like the one we all should aspire to, is the president. And we call it the president because the name of my company is Presidential Lifestyle. And so the president money mentality has harmony on all the areas of the money cycle. It has harmony on all the prosperity pillars, and it has resolved its money emotions. Now, that's not easy to get to, but once you finish my program, then you become a president. But most of us have a money mentality that we're working through.
I like this. And how do people get involved with this program? And actually, before even let's save that. What is it? Like, what is the program? How long is it? Like, just a little bit about it.
And then
So
cost.
right now, I do one-on-ones with barbers, but like I mentioned earlier, that's a long process, and that's one barber at a time, and it can take time for me to make an impact. So I'm putting together a group for barbers, but when I work one-on-one, and just in case I forget to say it, what I did, I have a link that when they go to my website, it's only going to be available for 24 hours for the people listening live. Because I love when you listen to the recording. It's awesome and amazing. But if you came live, you deserve a little extra something. So I did lower the price on my website for the live people.
Nice.
It is going to go back up to the regular price, but it's fully worth it at the full price. Totally worth it at the full price. But
Thank you. Thank you for blessing our people.
You're welcome. So when you work with me, the first thing that I'm going to do is just get to know your idea of prosperity. I want to know what's important to you, because you could have opposing goals. You could be off. You could be unaligned. And the actual program that you're learning is called self-sync, because you need to sync with yourself. Most of us are synced with something external. Either we're synced with our parents and what they told us, society and what it told us, celebrity, the barbers in the barbershop, we're synced with all these external things. And you need to learn how to sync with yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is get to know you. And I can do that very quickly because I'm skilled. And so I'm going to get to know you, and I want to understand your idea of prosperity. And then I'm listening to where you are not living your idea of prosperity. And I'm going to make you aware of that, give you some insight. And that is my gift. Like, that is what I do. I've always done it since I was a very young kid. Some people hate it. Some people love it. But I see into you. And so I'm going to give you that insight. This is what I see. And you don't have to do anything to change it. Let's just at least get some awareness around it. Do you see this? And so I need to get your agreement. If you in agreement and you're like, yep, I see it. That is true. That's what I want to work on. Then we work together. But we could stop right there. If you're like, no, I don't see that. I know what I'm doing. I'm so good at what I do that I believe that we need to stop. I don't have to take your money because it's going to be so much work for me if you don't have awareness. So right there, we're going to let you go, and you're going to come on back when you have the awareness. Oh my gosh, Kiné, I see what you were saying. It just hit me. It could be a year. It could be a week. It doesn't matter. When you're ready, I am too. So once you see that you're ready and you have the awareness, then we need to know acceptance. Or are you accepting that you're this way? Or you're like, you know what? I know I like to travel, but I'm just not for now. I'm just going to commit to this. And this is where I am until my kids graduate or whatever the reason is, this is what I'm doing. Okay. Then we don't need to make any adjustments then, because that's the next step that we're doing. We're adjusting. And now those three just alone, the awareness, the acceptance, and the adjustment, those three alone, that's what I do in just the first couple sessions. And that alone will tell you whether you are living your idea of prosperity and how much work we have to do. And then we do some evaluating and see how much work we need to do together. And it is a 5-phase process. So it's the vision phase. We look at your vision. What do you really want? And I do hypnotherapy to get you to see your vision. We're going to get you out of your conscious brain, because in your conscious brain, you're going to just tell me some junk that the society told you. But I'm going to get you into your subconscious brain so you can tell me what you really want, what you really need, like what is inside of you. And then once I see that vision and you see it too, then the next thing we're going to do is get some clarity. All right, where have you been? Like what has gotten in the way of you getting here? And now we really look deep and get some clarity. And
can I ask you a question without you losing track of your? Okay. How do you get us hypnotized?
That's me, right?
I enjoy Kiné so much that I'm like, I hear these little things and she be flowing because she does it. And I'm like, I'm like, no, what you just said right there. I'm like, but I don't want to be rude. I want to let her get somewhere first. But I'm like, let's touch on that real quick.
Do one need to believe in hypnosis to be?
That's a good question. Excellent.
I'm not sure I believe in it.
Is no, you do not. And the answer, the reason why the answer is no is because your brain subconsciously might be ready for it. See, conscious brain, you talking about conscious brain, but I'm more on subconscious brain. Your conscious brain might say, yeah, no, I don't believe in that stuff. I just need to get to your subconscious brain. If your subconscious brain is ready, then it doesn't matter what your conscious brain believes. So there's that.
So that might be my whole hour though. Working on getting me to get to my
he basically saying you're gonna be over there doing your technique, and he's still gonna be like, nope, not yet.
Like, time is up. I need that money. Oh.
No. So that's a good point that you make, and I'm different than most therapists in the sense that I do book an hour for this first session, the one that I said I lowered for your people. Yeah, that's 1 hour. But when I work with somebody, you cannot time the subconscious brain. You cannot time the subconscious brain. So we're working until we get there. And you might be resistant. That's okay. I don't care about resistance. Be resistant. But if you said to me, I want to figure out this thing, then we're going to figure out this thing. You're not going to leave the office until we figure out this thing, even if it's my virtual office.
This is what I want you to do, though. Once you get me under and you get my unconscious brain, I just need you to tell it to save money. Tell it what to do. So when I come to, I'll be what I need to be.
Yes. And
don't bring me back to where I was.
I won't. I promise I won't.
Barking like a dog and nothing like that, but have to be ready.
We will have a life-changing haircut.
Okay.
So to answer, well, I'm going to finish and then I'm going to answer that question. So vision phase, clarity phase. Next thing is design phase. You are going to design each one of those areas of the prosperity pillars that I talked about. And then we go into more hypnosis where you spend time with me. Usually I do this in a retreat setting and it's intensive. You do all your hypnotherapy at once. It's not like you come back every week because we don't have time for that. You want this to work like you said, Tamel said, right now, I need to come back differently. That is to get all of the clearing done. Clearing is all the stuff that's in the way, all the habits, the patterns that have been keeping you from getting to the area idea of prosperity that you want. Once we do the clearing, the next thing we have to do is the expanding, because that vision that you had, you're not him yet. So we need to expand you to him. So not only am I clearing away that which is in the way, I am also expanding you to that which you are. I know that's a little woo-woo, but you need to become him, and you're not him yet. So when I expand you to him, then you start acting different. Your patterns change, your habits shift. You're not the same. You are the true Tamel.
Do you find people like there's, I don't want to say young people, there's even adults that haven't figured out what they want or how they want to be in life? How do you get the answers you need from them to be able to build this structure of them that they're seeking, that they don't even know they're seeking because they don't have no idea what it is?
So these questions go together. So remember the question you asked me about hypnotherapy. This is it. So yes, in conscious brain, I have them fill out a questionnaire. They're going to answer most of those questions from their conscious brain. And then when we get together, I'm going to have them go into what I call calm optimal brain, because calm optimal brain is the same place you get to. And this is why I know you can be hypnotized, because hypnosis is Latin for sleep. And so you do sleep, right? You've done that before?
Yeah.
Then you can be hypnotized.
Now you gonna have a free talking. I'm gonna tell you some dirty secrets and stuff. I need you to sign an NDA.
I'm glad you defined what it is too. I'm glad you because I'm glad you defined what is hypnosis, because we think about cartoon versions.
Let's define it a little bit more. Let's define it just a little bit more so you really get it. So in your conscious brain, you're up, you're awake, you're answering questions, you're doing all the things, moving around, making meaning, talking. And as you go, there's a space between your conscious brain and your subconscious brain, and then your unconscious brain. When you're asleep, that is unconscious brain. But there's a space between the conscious brain and the subconscious brain where you know how you're falling asleep And you can kind of hear somebody call your name, Lonnie, and you're like,
yes.
You just go ahead and fall asleep.
Yeah.
You were in hypnosis right there. And I'm holding you right there. I'm just hovering you right there. And that's where I'm going to get you. You can still talk. You're just lighter. Well, sometimes people say they're heavier. You might feel lighter. Some people feel a little bit of a tingle. You'll feel some physiological changes, but I'm going to just have you hover right there. And then I'm going to go to your subconscious brain. And that's where we get to what you really want. That's where your desires are, your true, real desires, not the ones that were implanted by your parents.
You know what you did? I was following you so closely that, you know, when something clicks, like it was like it clicked to where, like, I have these moments where I'm like, that's so crazy. I didn't feel like I was asleep, but I found out I was asleep. And I had this period for a big portion of a year where it was happening all the time. And I was like, this is crazy. I feel like I could think and control what I'm thinking and doing in my dreams. And I was experimenting with it. And you can't walk around talking about this to everybody.
I know, right? No.
You see my partner, his face right now. This is
who I travel with.
This is a straight fool right here. So you gotta be careful when you. But anyhow, when you got there, I ain't paying no attention to him right now. When you got there, I was following you. I was waiting on it to click, and then right there, it almost scared me a little bit because I was like, "Ooh, I could almost see you getting a person there and having total access." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, in a way.
Like, hey, you know, I need you to tell me.
No, you are still in control. And the brain is
getting a little sleep.
That was kind of
you saw my face, see that you I was following, I was with it, and then she said that, I said, ooh.
I know.
That got a little, it was dope, but it was scary.
No, you still have control, not complete control. But the reason why I say not complete control, because your subconscious brain might be ready. And this could be that year that you were doing this, your subconscious brain was ready to go to the next level. Maybe it had some stuff it was holding on to, and it was like, we're going to release that. Maybe it had a place that it was like, I'm ready to imprint, like get new information in. Whatever it was ready to do, it was ready to do. So yeah, it's making sense, right? So it was ready to do that. And that's why I say, you don't have complete control, because if you want to stop this from happening, but your brain is like, no, we need to let this go, then it's going to go. However, the opposite is true. If you like, I need to let this go. If your conscious brain is saying, I need to let this go, but your subconscious brain is like, you're not ready for this. It's not going to do it. And so when I'm doing hypnosis, one of the questions I ask is, I say, like, we'll let the days roll back, the years roll back, the months roll back. You're getting younger, smaller, shorter, lighter. And then I'm going to ask you, how old are you? And if you are like, let's say you're 50 years old, and then I ask you how old you are in this hypnosis, and you tell me 21, I know we'll go back far enough, because nothing happens at 21 that's going to make you who you are at 50. That stuff happened between 0 and 7 years old. I've been doing this long enough to know anything that happened to you at 21 already happened to you. It is just a repeat. All that betrayal, you was betrayed at 5, and that's why you was betrayed at 25. So going back to the gentleman that you spoke about, something happened to him where he was betrayed. And that betrayal that happened triggered the old betrayal, and he was like, not again, not again. Could also be why he had that stuttering.
We gotta have you back.
I was have you back. Earlier I was thinking she should be here a few times a year, because we should really just be like, man,
segment quarterly about some of this stuff. Yeah, I thought we would get a lot of it out. I feel like we're scratching the surface.
Yes, me too.
We have a lot more. I got so many questions.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I have a whole page of notes that I didn't even get to. So yeah, you're right.
So
this was powerful.
Yeah, let's plan this in the next quarter to get some more of this stuff out. We would love to have you back.
Yeah. I mean, we can do part 2. I'm just whatever y'all want to do. Let the audience say. Let the audience tell us.
Yes.
I'm a big proponent of listening. That's what I do, and they will tell us what they want, and I'm pretty obedient. The universe always takes care of me. That's why I DM'd you. I don't just be DMing people, especially the male people.
The male people.
Something about us that she got a vendetta, a beef, something she want to fix us.
Social media DMing.
You got to come back right there.
Come on now. You don't know.
Thank you.
DMs are dangerous. Things happen in DMs that you like. I had a picture with pearls and a suit jacket with ruffles and the nastiest messages. I'm like, dude, I'm wearing pearls. How could you say this to me?
That's crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the DMs.
You're right. I love your idea about let's have the guests tell us. So I think what we should do is put out a video when we coming up to like maybe a month out to having you on with you asking them, what do you guys want to discuss? We're going to be on the For the Culture podcast, and then we'll have them give us those answers, and then we're going to make that segment about that. So,
absolutely. I love that. Yeah.
You are powerful.
Thank you.
I want to give you your flowers right now. You are powerful. You're very unique, and I enjoy every second of this from the moment you start talking. And I'm gonna be real with you. We just flew back in today from Chicago, and we have had multiple meetings. We do a lot of meetings on Tuesdays. This boy will tell you, I'm professional in my meetings. I was laying down in my meetings today. Hey, I was like, I'm here. I'm a human though, and I know. And it was very important for me to be ready for you tonight. But I want to tell you, my energy is so up with you, and I haven't felt 1 ounce of fatigue. Now, when I get done, the truth's gonna happen. But I just want to tell you, it's more than an honor to have you. We just love this. I can speak for both. We love it, man. So thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for trusting me with your audience. I honor that as well.
Thank you for hopping in the DMs. Without that, we wouldn't be here. So
that's true. Sometimes you just gotta be bold, take a chance. But I will say this. Let me say this, because I do not hop into DMs, but it's something about the way you handle your business that let me know I was safe.
Oh, thank you. And we really do cherish that. We cherish that approach. Like it means a lot to us. So we will protect that. And seriously, we will protect that. And we'll always make it a safe space for you. And I always tell people we don't really treat these like interviews. We treat them like conversations. So a lot of times we'll see somebody, we admire what they're doing from afar. And then I call this our cheat sheet. I'm like, wow, we get to get them right here and ask all these questions. Yeah. So this was really, really cool. It was the other way around where you found us. But after digging into your info, I was really, really excited to learn more. And you got another one right there. Shout out to Chad. He said, yeah, part 2. So it sounded like the clubhouse already answered.
Yes,
all right,
indeed.
Tell them.
Let's make it happen. I am here. Yes. And like I said, it's for you guys, but also for the audience. And I still have so much to say. So for all of us, win.
Yes, ma'am.
Hang tight for 1 minute.
Yeah, you guys, we do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This has been another episode of For the Culture Podcast. And we want to tell you guys happy Tuesday and God bless.
For the culture,